Chelsea versus Manchester United is almost upon us, and on the eve of the game, Manchester United have been handed a massive, huge, double injury boost. And I tell you what, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for this game now. Bonfire night here in the UK, but it doesn't matter where it is. Fireworks will explode tomorrow afternoon in many, many ways, and cannot wait for this game. Manchester United at Chelsea, in a game we must win. And for all those Liverpool fans tonight who are getting ahead of themselves, saying that Salah's scored more goals than Lukaku and what a breath of fresh air our attack is, anybody with half a brain can shut you out, and you're still 4 points behind us in 6th place. So kid yourself. Just because you're hitting your ceiling and you're all happy, you think it's Christmas, crack on. Not bothered how many goals Salah's got, it's how many points United have got and how many points Liverpool have got, and you ain't getting past us this season. Those days are closed, the doors are shut, and we crack on. So huge injury boost for Manchester United, double one in fact. The squad is pretty much named for the trip to Chelsea. In fact, they will be down there themselves. And drum roll, Marouane Fellaini and Marcos Rojo are both part of that squad. Now, I'm stunned in relation to Marouane Fellaini because Manchester United have been very, very secretive about their injuries over the last couple of months with Mourinho. We don't know what happened to Carrick, and we thought Carrick was back. We don't know what happened to Fellaini. Well, we know what happened to Fellaini, but we've never had any updates on how long he'd be out. And Pogba, 2 months with no updates, really just put us in the dark. But Fellaini, I didn't expect Fellaini back for this game. I know people were talking about him, but when he posted the picture of a gym, I thought, well, that's conditioning work. That's not football pitch work. We've not seen any pictures of Fellaini training at Carrington with the rest of the squad. So Fellaini to be part of it is absolutely fantastic. And I think it's very, very significant. In relation to Rojo, great to have him back. Gives us more options. Mourinho really likes him. It's going to be really interesting with Rojo back, how he wants to set up. Is he going to go to a back three, which would be fantastic, whether it's Jones, Bailly and Rojo, or will he go to the 2 and use Rojo and Bailly? Really interesting. And having another good player back really helps us. Maybe not so helpful for Lindelof. But in relation to the Chelsea game, because that's what we're here to talk about as well, and we will be doing the Chelsea-Manchester United current combined and historic combined, which should be fun. But in relation to the game tomorrow or today or whenever you're watching this show, Marouane Fellaini, for me, this won't happen, I don't think, just like Mata. But I think Fellaini could be more important to United than Pogba. Look, if Pogba's back, I just think Pogba and Fellaini, they're streets apart. You know, Pogba is on a different level to Fellaini. But I think Pogba's one of those players that when he comes back from injury, I think it would take him a few games to sort of be impactful. And going into a game like Chelsea, if he's not totally on the ball, he's not totally up for it, then playing Pogba might not be the best idea. Fellaini, technically, that's not what he's all about. Fellaini's about effort, awkwardness, and ability to put himself around. And in a game against Chelsea, that is probably more important than a rusty Pogba. So what I would love to see tomorrow in this game against Chelsea is Fellaini playing where Mkhitaryan and Lingard have been playing the last few games. I would love to see Herrera and Matic carry on as the midfield 2, with Fellaini in there with them, but with Fellaini given the licence to get up and support Lukaku. Because what I've seen from United, and I was thinking about this today, and I don't know what a lot of people think about this, but what I've seen from United over the last few games is that when De Gea gets it, or Bailly gets it, or Jones get it, they sometimes feel forced into hitting a long ball to Lukaku, which is a very long ball, because you've got to get over all your midfield, and it's, you know, 2 centre-backs, they can get a run on Lukaku to do it. I think what De Gea likes to do, and he's done it in the past, he's not quite hit it as far as Lukaku as the number 9. He wants to make it land around the centre circle or to the side of that. And that is exactly what in the past we've done with Fellaini. And as we know, Fellaini under the high ball is absolutely immense. And in a game away from home, do we want to be passing out from the back at Stamford Bridge where they're going to be up for it? I would like that ball out option. Yes, it's a long ball, but tomorrow, you know, City are going to win tomorrow. I said Liverpool would win tonight against West Ham. They did it comfortably. I think I predicted on my Super Brew, I don't know about you, I think I predicted 4-1. So Liverpool are always going to win. We want to shut the door on that behind, and we want to move and progress with City, who will beat Arsenal tomorrow. So Chelsea, for me, by any means, is United get a win, and I think we can do it. And look, if Fellaini's anywhere near fit, I would risk him tomorrow. I wouldn't risk him to drop Herrera and keep Mkhitaryan in the team. That would terrify me. but I would risk him to bring him in with Matic and Herrera, and I would say to Fellaini, look, you don't need to run around and, you know, I know you've just come back from injury, you don't need to run around loads. What I want you to do is be that number 10 position, where that's what we paid £27 million for. That's where he used to play for Everton. He was like a support midfielder, support striker. He was never a sitting defensive midfielder at Everton, and he caused teams a lot of problems. And I think he could cause Chelsea a lot of problems. Because let's be honest, we've not actually been playing with a number 10 for the last few games. So I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure that it is going to end up being Mkhitaryan or maybe Lingard, and that does worry me in a game of this magnitude. But you know, Mate ideally, but I'd be really, really, really happy if it was our man Fellaini. In relation to bets, I always do one. The link is in the video description for the Quiff app. The Quiff app is a brilliant new app that's out. You can download it in the link in the video description. And effectively, any bet you put on will get quiffed. So how does that work? So you put a bet on at, say, 2-1, and your odds will get enhanced in like a bit of a roulette thing. So it could go up to 3-1, it could go up to 9-1. However, we always do it for the Manchester United games. Last week, I said get your money on Manchester United to beat Spurs, because you very rarely get United 2-1 to beat any team at Old Trafford, and we did. So anyone who got on that, well done. This week, you know, I know, look, fortune favours the brave, but in relation to, let's go to the Premier League, Man City, what can you get Man City to win? I just want to, I'm not telling you to bet on City, but 1.38. 1.38. So if you put a tenner on City to win, you get £3.80 profit. I mean, it's worth doing it. I chuck it in an accumulator with United, to be honest, but that's not what I'm going with. I quite fancy Watford to beat Everton. I don't know what you get on that. Let's have a look. Full time, 3.25 for Watford to beat Everton. I think that's really good value. So you'd get £22.50 off a tenner in profit off that. But I digress, because I want to talk about Manchester United. 4:30 kickoff, remember, tomorrow. It's not 4 o'clock. We'll be live at 3:30 with the team news and the watch along. So my tip of the day is Manchester United to beat Chelsea at 2.95. So if you put a tenner on that, you will get 30 quid back. Well, £29.50 back. I know we're away from home. I mean, Chelsea fans could look at it and say, if I put a tenner on that, I get 23 quid back. You get the same for a draw as you do a United win. I suppose it's a tough one to pick. But I think Manchester United are going to at least win it. In fact, no, you can't. It's not really value to do it. I would go Manchester United to win 2.95, tenner or fiver, and you're going to get 30 quid back off a fiver, or 15 quid back off. Sorry, 15 quid back off a fiver, 30 quid off a Manchester United win. But on the Quiff app, you'll get more than that, because when you put your bet on, it'll roulette it and your odds will go higher. So link in the video description for that. And my bet of the week is Manchester United to win, and it's good price as well. I've got mine on it already. My odds were enhanced to a 4-1, so I'll get 40 quid if they win. You might do better on Quiff. You might do better. Link in the video description. And remember, you've got to be over 18 and gamble responsibly. But I'm confident United are going to win. I've got to say, I'm confident Manchester United are going to win. I'm not like the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game, I think, was a missed opportunity, and Mkhitaryan didn't turn up, and because of that, we had to take the draw. Darian Jones has made a contribution. Thank you, Darian. He says, I think tomorrow is all about Mourinho's ego versus his stubbornness. His ego must be screaming to have a go at them, while his stubbornness to sit back. I agree with that comment, Darian. I really do. But I think any other season, draws at Liverpool, draws at Chelsea, draws at the Etihad, draws at the Emirates, and then win your other games is fine and good, and maybe you do win the title. But I just don't see that many teams beating City, because defensively so many teams are so bad this year that I think City can score 3 or 4 goals against most teams. I think they'll score 3 or 4 against Arsenal tomorrow. So whilst Mourinho's digesting the league, which I said he always does, and I've got nothing against it, and he will look at it tomorrow and go, he'd probably have it planned out in the summer. He'd go Chelsea away, points. And he probably is stubborn, and he probably won't digress from that point. But I think the way the season's going, I actually think we need to win tomorrow, especially because of that Huddersfield result where he would have been putting that down as 3 points. I think we've got to win tomorrow, but I don't know. I agree with Darian. I think Mourinho might just stick to his original sort of thinking, that a point to Chelsea, win your other games, we'll still win the league. But the problem is, and I don't think City are fantastic, I just think the defences this season are so bad. You can predict results. I did go, and I don't know what the final result was with Liverpool, but it was 4-1 last time I looked. I did go 4-1 on my Super Brew. For an away team to go to West Ham and win 4-1 and predict that is a bit unusual. But I did, because I just think West Ham are very poor defensively. Liverpool will play on the break and they'll win it. And tomorrow, no shadow of a doubt, Arsenal will lose to City by quite a few goals. So I think we need to win tomorrow. I think we can win, but look, I'm a big fan of Mourinho, as everybody knows. But tomorrow, the one decision that's on him is who he plays as the number 10. Well, there's two decisions. We should play 5-2-3-1. No, we can't play that. We should play the 5-3-2. I'm fearful he'll go to the 4-2-3-1. And I don't think... He can't start Mkhitaryan. Mkhitaryan's better than Lingard, but he can't start Mkhitaryan because Lingard's in better form. I wouldn't start Lingard either because I think he's too lightweight, but I would start him over Mkhitaryan. And those decisions are on Mourinho. They really, really are. Mr. Anonymous says it would help us a lot if Arsenal was to draw against City. Thanks for the contribution, Daniel Pollard. Oh no, he's retracted it. I think at the end of the day, when it comes to tomorrow's game, and look, if Arsenal were to draw at Manchester City, that would be fantastic for us. Of course it would. But I'm not expecting it at all. I think we need to win. I don't want to lose. Tomorrow night, we could, if we draw and City win, it will go up to 7 points, won't it? So I don't want that to happen at all. And I'm sure everybody else doesn't want it to happen either. So we need to win. We need to win tomorrow, I feel. But maybe some people think a draw will be fine. He'll start Mkhitaryan, says Chris Andrews. Lingard is a pub player, says Charms. Is Pogba back, says Mario Edwards. I don't think Pogba's going to be back. I don't think he is going to be back at all. It would be very, very surprising. I would like him to be back, but there's no indication that he's going to be back. I mean, somebody said to me the other day, Pogba's return from this injury is something that really should be getting more scrutiny from the press and the fans, because what is he doing? He was dancing 2 months ago after the injury. He was dancing 3 weeks ago again. Why is he not back playing in a Manchester United shirt? And yet, he's been running around in Miami for a month. What's going on with that? It's not like we can afford to just say, "Oh, come back in November." We've got big games like Spurs last week, Chelsea. He should be back. But obviously, I don't know whether I agree with that, but we have been fed absolutely nothing. And why we've been fed nothing, I don't understand it. Manchester United fans are the people who put the pounds into the club. And yes, Mourinho runs the club how he likes to as a manager, but you're just irritating fans with this Pogba injury. I want to know why Pogba's been out for 2 months, why he's been dancing around for 2 months, when is he going to be back? Because it's irritating as a fan to just not know. And I don't understand why are we keeping it back? Who is it benefiting by not letting us know about injuries? I mean, it's really great that Fellaini's back for tomorrow. Really is great. But why could we have not been told that that was a possibility? Why were we not told he's very close to being fit? I don't like it. I don't see who it benefits. And for those people who say, well, it keeps Chelsea in the dark in relation to their plans, I don't think football's really like that. We're going to Chelsea. Conte's not going to have a plan to deal with Pogba or Fellaini. His plan is going to be, because his job is on the line, is to win that game. And I guarantee, the way we're going to set up, Fellaini and Pogba playing wouldn't mean we're going to express ourselves. We're going to Chelsea and we're going to try and minimise what Chelsea do and nick a goal. That is exactly what we're going to do tomorrow. And I really, really hope we do it. It is irritating, Eric Ross, yes. Mourinho will not let Chelsea win. A draw is on the cards for Mourinho. Full-on attack and going for the win, says Leon Grant. The situation with Pogba is Mourinho is playing mind games with France. If he comes back before the international break, France will call him up. Well, to be fair, that's from Aladi Moj Olif. That was always the risk with Mourinho. Sorry, with the international break, is if we played Pogba tomorrow, would he be part of the France squad for the international break? But I think that in relation to tomorrow, if we were to lose that game and City were to beat Arsenal like they should, that would be 8 points. Prince N Hills 93, thanks for the contribution. Scott Roberts says, I think we're going to park the bus. I just think tomorrow is a very, very important game for United. But I do put a lot of faith in the team. When I look at people like Valencia and Young, who were fantastic last week, and Smalling and Jones and Bailly and De Gea and Matic and Herrera and Lukaku and Rashford and Mata and Martial and Fellaini if he's back and Lingard. The one thing I think you do get from all those players is effort. And effort and drive and passion is really important in a game like this. Unfortunately, I purposely didn't name the name Mkhitaryan because at the moment I don't think we get effort, passion or ability. And he terrifies me tomorrow because if he's unable to turn it on at Old Trafford against teams like Crystal Palace and Spurs, what hope is there in what will be a cauldron like it was last time because it's Mourinho and Conte will be getting the crowd up. It'll be pantomime. So they're going to come at us thick and fast. We need a lot of maturity tomorrow, but I'm worried about Mkhitaryan. I think he's got to be on the bench. And if Mkhitaryan's on the bench tomorrow, I'll be very, very happy. Please do drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, bottom right-hand corner. Let's do the combined Chelsea and Manchester United 11 currently, and then we will do the combined Manchester United 11 Premier League as well, because I've been taking a few notes on that. So combined 11s at the moment. As you know, when we did the Liverpool one a couple of weeks ago, there were 9 United players and 2 Liverpool players. I think it was Mane and Coutinho. So how many will there be this time? Daniel Pollard has made a contribution again. He says Lukaku hat-trick and Martial to score 1 goal. I hope that Fellaini, Pogba and Ibrahimovic could return soon. Yeah, we'll be talking about that all over the international break. Don't forget, the United Stand will still be live every night at 8 o'clock throughout the international break. Football doesn't end and there's lots and lots of shows we've got planned for you. Really good stuff, so do get involved, and we'll probably be doing a few more Skype shows because there'll be no matches. And also, just a little bit of a reminder, 2 weeks today we play Newcastle after the international break, and I'll be doing my 24-hour stream from 9 AM on the Saturday through to 9 AM on the Sunday, which is it's going to be for charity. We're going to have our own giving page, and it's to do with 2 cancer charities in relation to a friend of mine who died last year in his early 40s. So yeah, so 2 weeks today, 24 hours. So yeah, don't go anywhere. But in relation to the combined 11 for now, De Gea in goal for me. I don't think there's any qualms about that. I'll be surprised if people did have any qualms about that. I would go right back. I'm going to do a 4-4-2 just because it's easy. Right back would be Valencia. Azpilicueta's good, but Valencia is just an absolute beast. Centre-backs. Do any centre-backs at Chelsea, Rudiger, Luis, Cahill, do they get in over Bailly? No. So I'd still have Bailly there. And then it's whether you think Phil Jones is better than Luis, Cahill or Rudiger. I'll leave that one open and I'll come back to it. In relation to the left-back, I would have Alonso. I think Alonso is better than anything that we've got. Into the midfield, for me, it's Matic and Pogba. I know Kante won Player of the Year last year, but I think Matic and Pogba are better than anything that Chelsea have got in that midfield 2 position. I'm actually going to do a 4-2-3-1. So on the right-hand side, personally, and Chelsea don't even play him, on the right-hand side I'd have Willian. On the left-hand side, I would have Martial. At number 10, I would have Hazard. And then up front, I would have Lukaku over Morata. So let's see what people are saying about centre-backs. Rojo Bay, says Jack Lee. Rojo. Shaw is much more naturally gifted than Rojo, but not mentally strong. I wouldn't put Cahill in there. I was actually thinking about David Luiz, but he's not had a great season. So I think my team would be a 4-2-3-1, and it would be De Gea in goal, Valencia, Bailly, Rojo, Alonso. So that's 1 Chelsea player. My midfield 2 would be Matic and Pogba. A lot of people are saying Kante. I've not been impressed with Kante much. Without, he did very well at Leicester. He did well last year, but I think Matic and Pogba give you more. I'm saying it totally straight-faced. I don't care what anybody says about Kante. Matic and Pogba for me every day of the week. On the right hand side I'd have Willian. Chelsea don't even pick him, that's that second player. On the left hand side I'd have Martial. I'd have Hazard at number 10 and Lukaku up front. So there'd be 3 Chelsea players getting into a Manchester United, into a combined 11. 8 United players. And I don't think I'm being, but I mean, people might put Kante in there for Matic, I suppose, Kante and Pogba, but it's still 4 to 7. I don't see any of their defenders apart from Alonso. De Gea's better than Courtois. Lukaku, Morata, I'd still go Lukaku. So yeah, definitely, that's how I would go. Azpilicueta is a good player, Adam Leahy, I agree with that. Matic over Kante for sure, says Paul Robinson. I would. Jonathan Majok says Kante and Matic, too defensive. You've got to put Pogba in there. Both Rojo and Luis pick up foolish cards, but I think Rojo has a longer fuse than Luis, says Higgins Brendan. Zach says you're mental not to have Kante. Well, Kante goes into the midfield, but you've got to take Matic or Pogba out. I wouldn't take Matic out for Kante, and Pogba, I would never play Matic and Kante. It's too defensive. So Pogba's got to play. So then it's the choice between Matic and Kante. If you think Kante, fine. But I'm with Paul Robinson. I would take Matic over Kante. Last summer, I would have said Kante every day of the week. But this Matic that Mourinho's uncovered, I wouldn't swap him for Kante at all. No way. And also, it gives you balance with his left foot. Mini Diver says no way Kante over Matic. I agree. And Chris Evans says Kante's not half the player last season anyway, without Matic with him. Last year you'd go Morata, Marks as David Felix. I would. I'll be totally honest with you. If you'd asked me in the summer, I would have said Morata over Lukaku, and I would have said Kante over Matic. But what Mourinho has done with Matic is amazing. And seeing Lukaku week in, week out, apart from match of the day highlights and the odd Everton game when he plays against us and bottles it, I like what I see in Lukaku. I love what he does off the ball, and he's not getting a lot of service at the moment. So I like Lukaku. I think he brings much more than Morata. But I do like Morata. I'm not saying he's rubbish. I do like Morata. I'm not fearful of Morata tomorrow. Watch him score a hat-trick. I don't think Morata will cause as many problems tomorrow. Chelsea's problem is Hazard. We've got to deal with him. And I think that's why I'd love Fellaini to play tomorrow. Drop Mkhitaryan. Play Fellaini as a sort of attacking midfielder. Matic and Herrera as the holding midfielders. And just say to Herrera, you go with Hazard. Although, if we play the 5-3-2, Chelsea only play a front 3. You've got 5 players there to deal with 3 players. I would say to Bailly, sort of skip into the right back position, and Valencia just follow Hazard absolutely everywhere. There's loads of options. It's going to be really intriguing to see. I can't wait. Danny SDR, hopefully I've just answered that question. He said, would you get Herrera marking Hazard tomorrow? Tom Andrews says Kante's won 2 Premier League titles, being Player of the Year twice. Yeah, and he played 40 games both seasons because he wasn't in Europe. There's always another side, Tom. I think Kante's been very, very fortunate. I think he's had 2 seasons playing for a club that was playing 1 game a week, and I think he'll struggle this year playing 2 games a week. I'm glad to see that the Matic-Kante thing has created a debate, because that's what this channel is all about. Predictions, Mark, for tomorrow. I'm going 2-1. I'm going to go 2-1. I think 2-1 to United. But as I said with the Spurs game last week, I can't tell you with any certainty what's going to happen in this game. I think it's just knife edge. I think we beat Spurs last week because of the home advantage, and this could be totally the other way tomorrow. It could be a really good game. Maybe not in relation to the football that's played, but I loved the Spurs game last week, and a lot of people said, a lot of neutrals said what a bad advert for football it was. Personally, as a United fan, and I think Spurs fans would have felt the same until they lost it, I thought it was an absolutely fantastic game, because it was just, you never knew which way it was going to go. It was fine margins, and both teams were totally committed. I think we'll see that tomorrow. But it could be that it sways to Chelsea because of the home advantage, a refereeing decision, or they just get the odd chance that they put away. But any result's possible tomorrow. I'm going for Manchester United to win. Obviously, the link in the video description with the Quiff app, you can, was it 3-1 United to win? So a tenner wins you 30 quid. I think there's value in that. I think United need to win it. I don't think we can sit back against Chelsea. I think he's got to have the first 20 minutes for me. I don't care if we sit back, but it's not about sitting back. It's about being competitive. If you sit back against Chelsea, I think they'll score goals. What we need to do is be competitive and not stupid on the ball. And if that means when the defenders get it for the first 20 minutes, they hit it long, great. We don't want to get caught in possession, passing the ball from the defence to the midfield, and they cut a pass out and they're running at our back four or five. So the first 20 minutes is key, but I think it's going to be a really intriguing game. I've said it a couple of times now. I think if we win the game tomorrow, I still think we'll be 5 points behind City because they'll beat Arsenal. But I think if we win the game tomorrow, we'll win the league because the momentum will be with us, having beaten Chelsea and Spurs. People like Pogba and Zlatan will be back soon, and when they come back, they are leaders. And we've got 2 home games coming up after the break. I think it's Newcastle and Brighton, where you'd expect us to get 6 points. Then we've got Arsenal away, which with a bit of momentum, I think we can win that. Then it's City at home, which I think we can win. Then City have got Spurs. So by Christmas, we could be level. But a lot of it depends on tomorrow. I hope we can win it. I don't care how we win it. I don't care, like I say, you can go in off Fellaini's afro. I don't care. You can go in off the referee's bottom. I don't care in the last kick of the game. 3 points is what matters tomorrow. And if we get it, it's on. But I feel nervous. I feel exactly the same tense like I did against Spurs last week because I don't know which way it's going to go. But I'm not going to be cocky about it like I was Liverpool. Oh yeah, we can beat them. Yes, I think 8 United players getting a combined 11. Yes, I think Mourinho's a better manager than Conte. But they are the champions of England and they are at home and we've got a bad record there. So it's so intriguing. It's really, really intriguing. There is a lot more work to do, Paul, if we win tomorrow. I'm not saying we win tomorrow and we win the league. I just think if we win tomorrow, it gives us the momentum to get some players back and really start believing again. I think at the moment, we've maybe stopped believing. Win tomorrow, like I said, we don't normally win at Stamford Bridge. I think this team will take a lot of confidence from it. And Mourinho needs to start winning some of these games against the top sides in the division. Pogboom says, come on Arsenal, I hope they beat City. I don't think there's any chance. I don't think there's any chance at all. And Shoot Neutrality says, relax everyone, I'm here. Do I think we'll bottle it tomorrow, says Liam Blake. I don't know. I think I'll be disappointed if we bottled it tomorrow. I would be really disappointed because one thing we didn't do against Spurs is we didn't bottle it. I think the only player that bottled it was Mkhitaryan. And I think that's lack of confidence and lack of physicality. Like I say, it's the Kagawa syndrome. I think he just reminds me of Kagawa. It's just not working in the Premier League. But everybody else worked really, really hard. So I'd be really disappointed if the players didn't turn up tomorrow and did a Huddersfield. Because if they turn up tomorrow, then, you know, all right, technically it might not work out. But if the effort's there, we should be all right. Because Chelsea will be nervous. Chelsea will be nervous. Let's not forget. You know, the press seem to want to forget about it because it's always about Mourinho. But Chelsea got absolutely humiliated by Roma in midweek. But bounce back ability is quite big, isn't it? Mike Rollins says, I think we'll show up tomorrow. So do I. So do I. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Drop a like on the video. We are back tomorrow at 3:30 with the team news. All the way through till full time. Massive game for United. Then a match reaction. Then 8 o'clock is Sunday Night Live at 8 o'clock. And at some point during the show, we will have the fan cams going up because it won't finish till 6:30 tomorrow. So we're going to have match reaction. That will finish around 7:15. 8 o'clock we'll be back live with Sunday Night Live. And then fan cams will be going up from the ground with Flex. So loads going on tomorrow. And why not? It's a massive game for United. I really hope we win. Thanks everyone for watching. Enjoy your Saturday night. You might not enjoy your Sunday night. I'm hoping we all will. But whatever the result tomorrow, I suppose a draw is probably the one that's going to create the least sort of drama. If we win, I think we'll be having a party. If we lose, who knows? But I think whatever happens, it's going to be interesting shows after the game tomorrow. So make sure you've subscribed. Make sure you've liked the video. Thanks everyone who's joined us this Saturday night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. And join us again at 3:30 tomorrow for the team news. It's going off. It's fireworks. And there will be fireworks at the bridge. Speak to you all soon. Thanks everyone.